With me here on set is our French politics expert, editor Marc Perelman. Marc, do you agree with that? I mean, do you think Gabriel Attal at this stage is probably likely to stay on?
Yes, first of all, because there's no other option, and second, because he already opened the door to that possibility yesterday night. Why? Because the Olympic Games are just around the corner, and obviously he's looked at the new National Assembly, 3 blocks, no clear majority, far from it, and so this will take time, and you can't have a power vacuum for many reasons, so it's unlikely Emmanuel Macron will accept his resignation. What you do have, and what you did see yesterday, was clearly the distancing between Emmanuel Macron, who appointed Gabriel Attal just a few months ago. But since Emmanuel Macron's decision to call for that election, he didn't tell Gabriel Attal until an hour before he called that election. Gabriel Attal didn't take this well. And yesterday night, he began his short speech by saying, "I didn't ask for that snap elections. However, I made sure I would fight for it." And he also said something that's notable. He said, the power will shift to the parliament, meaning away from the presidential palace. So Gabriel Attal probably, who was reelected, by the way, to the parliament, clearly has his own ambitions for the future, be it in parliament or maybe for the next presidential election in 2027. But yes, we'll have to see whether he remains prime minister. We'll probably know this in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I was just watching behind you those images of Attal making his speech. Our guest Richard Worley in the last hour said, indeed, it was a very presidential-looking speech, wasn't it? What do you think comes next then? Because, Attal may stay in place at least for the Olympics, but Emmanuel Macron at some point is going to have to move. Who's he going to look towards? Is he going to look towards some kind of technocrat government? Might he look towards the left? Let's not forget, of course, that bloc did come in first.
The logic would be that he would propose the leading bloc, that is this new leftist alliance, to put forth a name for prime minister. This is what the left has been demanding since yesterday night. None of the other blocs have said, we want the position of prime minister. Clearly, the National Rally has said that before, but after yesterday's dismal performance, they didn't. And the Macron camp, starting with Gabriel Attal, by saying, I will resign, he's essentially implying that it's not ours to have. So the only option is a prime minister from the left. The problem is, how do you get there? Because they agreed to disagree within this alliance, and they've said this morning, yesterday night, okay, we'll get together and come out with a name this week for prime minister. How do you choose? Because there's a big problem, an elephant in the room, if you will, by the name of Jean-Luc Mélenchon. He is the leader of France Unbound. He was the first to take the airwaves yesterday after the result. It was already the case a week ago. However, he is a polarizing figure, and he's not wanted by the leaders of the other members of the coalition. The socialists, the Greens, the communists have repeated, Jean-Luc Mélenchon is not the candidate we want. And he's saying, I will not impose myself, but I will not exclude myself. So who do you come up with? And this is going to be now a very difficult task, because they have to agree between themselves. But if you look at the figures, the absolute majority is 289. This coalition, if it remains a coalition, is over 100 seats shy from that absolute majority. So you not only have to agree to find a name that is okay with the rest of the coalition, but also be able to form a majority in parliament with other elements. This will not be the National Rally. The only possibility is an alliance or partial alliance with Macron's bloc or part of Macron's bloc. This is the only way you can find a majority right now. And obviously, this is not usual for France to negotiate like in Germany, in Italy, or other parliamentary democracies, because it's not a purely parliamentary democracy here, what we have.